Button. Here we
Oh yeah.
go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy with Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host, and we're
Karen.
live on a Tuesday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you find podcasts. The official weapon of the show is the folding chair, correct? And the unofficial sport,
What about?
and bullet ball extreme. If you're watching live or listening later or watching on YouTube later, you know that we have company. Okay, we have a guest, been on the show plenty of times, also been on the Nerd Off plenty of times, friend of the show, friend in real life. It's 2019's International Mr. Leather, Jack Thompson. What's going on, Jack?
Nothing much. How are you guys?
Maintaining, trying to make it, take it a day at a time, control what you can control. I feel like
the truth.
a lot of shit going on every day, and looking at the news every day, it's just like, fuck, more shit is gonna keep
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, when I'm working, everyone's like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm upright and not crying."
Yeah,
That's
basically,
all I
yeah.
got.
And you work in a bar that's like a LGBTQ bar, right? Like at least for LGBTQ theme, like friendly.
Yeah, we like to call it it's like the gay Cheers. Like it's a very queer bar, not gay bar specifically. So like it's all over the map.
Yeah,
So yeah, we get a lot of different kinds of people, and like every once in a while you get that one person who's like a Trumper, and I'm like, how are you even in here right now?
Yeah, how did you find your
did you
way?
get lost?
Yes, that would be my question. Did you get lost?
Yeah, or
The
like
amount
maybe
of random gay Trumpers in like right outside of like the city is a
Mm.
little crazy to me.
yeah, I was gonna say like that's another thing too. Is like some people support Trump and they do be gay. I don't even know. I don't know how.
I don't understand.
It's like every other marginalized identity that fucks with Trump, where you're just like, I don't know how you figured that, but okay. I guess I have to serve you a beer. What the
You're
fuck?
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the few things I could discriminate against if I wanted to. Like there are a number of bars now that are like no red hats in our bar, like kind of stuff. But like
Right. They was like, we don't want them problems, right?
I wait until it gets to a certain point. Like if they're just sitting there having a beer, I'm like, all right, man, your own business. But if they start to
Right.
like talk, like get into it with somebody, I'm like, no, you can go. Like I don't need
Yeah.
to be
Yep,
looking
you
at this
can
right now.
go.
I always found that to be a weird personality trait. The people that vote, like this used to happen to me at the basketball court. There was like a black man who definitely voted for Trump. Like at minimum, he was very vocally not gonna vote for Hillary Clinton, which doesn't leave many other options. So, but my thing was like, why you want to talk about it?
Right.
Like you know what what the temperature is, and you're still like, yeah, like let's have a dialogue.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not here
Yeah.
to teach. Nope.
Like, what could possibly come of this? I never understood. His name was Carl. I haven't seen him in years, but he would come in and be like, "I'll tell you right now, because he was an old black man, so he never called me the right name. Like, I'll tell you right now, Rodney.
Like,
yeah, it's a fucking weirdo, man.
I mean, the trick now is that you got a lot of like the cis gay men who are like, we're just LGB, like they're trying to cut the T off because that's what that's the heat's on now, and I'm like, we've seen this kind of behavior before, y'all, in the 40s, and it didn't do really well for them either. I mean, like this is
yeah. You still like you're still over there. You're gonna get a wake up call eventually, because like Karen always points out, but like all bigotry is slippery slope. Like it's just they're just working their way till they get to
your group,
to the groups that they feel are like a little more protected societally. So it's like, we'll start on the fringe with trans people. Okay, all right, no one seems to be pushing back. Eventually they want, I think, to erode stuff like gay marriage. They do want gay people to go back into the closet, like to think opposite of that is just such a delusional state of mind, to be like, no, I'm over here because they're gonna stop when they get to trans people. It's like, no, then they're coming for you, buddy. Just wait.
Well, I think it's funny because a bunch of my friends are talking about like ChatGPT and AI right now, and like they're like, well, every time it does something nice, I say thank you, so that when the robot overlords come to get us, like they'll leave me alone because I was nice to the AI. And I'm like, it doesn't work there, and it doesn't work with Republican. Like, I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
everybody's nest is going to kill them. I've already decided that I'm gonna have one of them slow deaths. Like my nest is gonna actually keep going up like 1 or 2 degrees until I just go away. Cause
Just Katie Seagal in Smart House from like
yes, the oven just gonna turn on and shit. I ain't gonna know what's happening. I already know that's how I'm going out.
Just
If it
slow
gets
roasting.
sentient, yes,
But
and then not knowing how to turn it off, knowing me.
but like, I guess, is there like at least some community? Because I feel like what's happening now, at least for Black people, for sure, I feel like there's a level of like togetherness, unfortunately, that's like, it's togetherness because it's good, but it's a togetherness that is like, shit is about to get real bad. We have to look out for each other. We have to be there for each other. Whatever communal care we can provide for each other, we need to be able to do that. And I would imagine that it's the same, similar in the LGBTQ community of like, obviously you have your people that are like, I'm done with the teas, whatever. Obviously, we've had like the turfs and all that stuff before, but I would imagine for the people that were already allied, that there must be some level of like understanding, like we need to really take care of each other to get through this.
There's I mean, especially in like you'll see like at a lot of the marches that happened the other week, like you see a lot of togetherness, and a lot of groups that wouldn't normally get together on certain projects are definitely coming together to organize. I mean, and even at the like, especially in LGBTQ communities, like our central meeting places are our bars, right? They're where we gather for things. And so a lot of gay bar owners and gay bar managers have to understand that, especially in bad times, these are our community centers. So we can't just be worried about how much Jack Daniels we sold that day. Like we have to think about like how and when we're supporting community and like what we're opening ourselves up for. And I guarantee in the next bunch of years we're gonna see like raids on gay bars again. We're gonna see like a lot of that, like especially like 70s and 80s level like behavior coming back, and not just because the AIDS epidemic will come back because they're going to cut off all our medications. Besides that, like, but we're gonna see a lot more of that like togetherness and almost like speakeasy level secrecy in our bars again. So we are doing a lot of organizing between all of us and a lot of togetherness and trying to keep the community together. Um, and it makes me feel good to know that a lot of people are doing that, but then you see the stuff like, I mean, I'm in Maryland, so you see, the guy who got picked up by ICE and is in like a Venezuelan prison right now that has no reason to be there, and they won't bring him back. And people are like, yeah, you'll see like a thing pop up every once in a while on social media, like bring him home, but we're not doing a lot as a community to help there. So I have a lot of unease around if things get real bad, how much we're actually gonna do.
Yeah, I feel that on both of those levels. Because first of all, like there's Democrat politicians who are planning to go down to like El Salvador and like demand to meet and put pressure on it, but they're not in power. There's only so much they can do, and even with the Republicans, when they've had like judges rule against them, they've just been like, well, y'all don't have enforcement power, so we're just going to do what we want to do anyway. So okay. And so we don't know how that'll escalate, but I mean, someone's got to make that escalate. like someone has to go and find some law enforcement people that are going to make people comply with these rulings. Someone has to put someone in jail. You can't just keep going, well, they said we told them to do it, they won't do it. And then the second thing that I think is a really scary moment, and I think people should like take notice and be aware of it and push back on it every single time we hear it. But it's the amount of people that are trying to throw trans folks under the bus, under the guise of like democratic policies, like oh, okay, we just would get rid of all the trans stuff, we would be fine. It's like that. Number one, that's not true. No, like they didn't just hate. If you believe all these people voted for Trump and because they just hate trans people and that was it, they were like,
you're
delusional. Listen, I really don't like his racism. I don't like his misogyny. I don't like the rape. I don't like the criminal malfeasance. I don't like the judgments against him in court. I don't like that he bankrupted us. I don't like that he handled COVID badly. I don't like, but I do hate trans people that much, so I had to do what I had to do. if you believe that shit, you're fucking stupid, number one.
Right.
But number two, like I think part of what makes democratic, left-leaning, progressive like people themselves is that you fight on that. You fight. You don't just go, oh well, whatever it takes to win, expediency. Like, you have to fight because sometimes you just fight because it's the right thing to do. And I think we have to push back because a lot of these lies have taken hold. Stuff like, well, Kamala Harris she was just campaigning on nothing but trans people. It's like, she barely talked about that shit.
She didn't touch the topic.
She was afraid to talk about it.
Right.
Like I get, like, look, as a strategy, I get why she was afraid to talk about it. I'm not I'm not trying to be delusional, but that was what I was just about to say. Every trans person I know gets it. Like I have there's I forget the name of the site, but I'm gonna look them up because I don't want to get it wrong. But there's a site that I get a lot of my LGBTQ news for our show from. And they had so many editorials that was like, I'm a trans activist. And no, Kamala Harris is not talking about trans issues. And I understand. We need her to win.
We need her to win. Because the thing is, I want results. I am the type of person that is like this. Say what you got to say. Do what you got to do. Perform, dance, soft shoe, whatever it
juggle, do whatever you got to do.
To get there. And once you get there, the thing is the power, and Republicans understand the power. A lot of the Democrats and liberals, they do not understand you can't do shit without power, without actually holding the position.
Well, so this is the thing, right? Because I think there's a distinction. I think her being firmly LGBTQ friendly and allied, like having a track record and being like, I'm going to run. I'm not going to campaign on this, but when I'm in office, I'm a friend. I will do this. Same way I think Barack Obama really was with gay marriage. I think he was. I don't think he ever really, not in a negative way. I mean, I don't think he ever gave a fuck on the bigotry side. I think he was just like, I don't know, I might lose if I fucking say this shit. And then he floated Joe Biden ass out there, who was like, gay people should get married. He was like, they ain't mad at Joe. I think they should get married too. And I think strategically that worked out for him.
Right.
Well, in this thing, I think the difference is what I'm hearing now is like we need to abandon trans people. Like for that, like to me, that is different than because even as a black person, I be thinking shit like that. Well, I'll be like, don't say defund the police, nigga, you gonna lose. Defund them if you want to. Like, just get in there and be like, oh, the budget, just not enough money for the police. It's crazy to me too. But don't say it and lose. And I feel like the difference now is I don't hear people saying like we need to stop talking about these issues, aka that's how we win. I hear we need to stop supporting these people.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that is different and unconscionable.
Yes. It's very dangerous because it's that slippery slope type of thing.
Why would you stop there?
You chop off one group, then next thing you know, you're going to be going all down the alphabet. And then after you clear all them people out, you don't come after my black ass. I know how the bullshit works.
Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, they try to separate like trans people are the issue that they're going after. So if we just leave them, then we'll all survive. But that's one of those like look over here issues while he's bankrupting our entire economy and like taking all of our money and going golfing every week. And then, but right while this is all happening with trans people, they're also fucking up the healthcare system and taking away, like, they're going to take away PrEP. They're going to take away access to HIV and AIDS healthcare, and they're taking away the funding from all that already. Like,
right.
As soon as it actually touches gay men in a like, I can't go fuck whoever I want without conscience because I don't have my pills anymore. Like, then they'll start getting upset. But until it actually hits them, it's easier to be like, well, if we just cut off our pinky, the rest of the hand will be fine, right? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, it's fucked up. And I just think we have a responsibility to at least make sure the conversation is factual. Yeah. And I think that's the part that it always trips people up because like I was on Karen Hunter's show and there was a guy who called in and he was like, listen, man, a large percentage of black men voted for Trump, so we need to take this serious. And he was a Trump, he was like a Trump leaning guy. And I went, first of all, not a large percentage. Of the men smallest percentage if we're just going by
Mhm.
that. But secondly, what is those people vote for Trump for? Because that would
Right.
matter to me, right? Like if they voted for Trump because they're bigoted, then okay, fuck them. I actually do not have to sit in community with them. He's like, well, they don't want people to be in this country illegally, and they don't want boys playing girl sports. And I was like, those are two things that Kamala Harris nor Biden were talking about.
Yeah,
Like
no,
that Joe Biden's not. I was like, he's like, well, Democrats want an open border. No, they don't.
no, they
But that
don't.
right, that tells you a lot about how a Republican lie can become the truth for people so easily.
Right.
And it just doesn't work that way on the other side. Like you can't really float a Democrat lie to people because people want to morally be right, and they don't get marching orders from Democrats. You question everything. To me, it's their strength and their weakness, right?
Right.
They come out to you and they're like, guys, this is what we need to do to get rid of student loans. Like, how you gonna do that? Like, you got to explain it. You can't. Well, now, why
Yeah.
are you doing that? You can't just be like, guys, we're doing it.
It's like this weird like thing. Like a lot of like the reason that Republican like rumors and other shit pops off is because it's generally a group of people who don't read the article, right? Like someone told them one thing, they saw one headline, and they didn't bother to read the rest of it. That's just the truth now for them, and there's no way you can explain to them otherwise with any amount of proof that it's any different. And then you have the Democrats, which is like they'll say something, they'll tell you their plan, and then they nitpick away at every tiny thing that you said in that article that might be something else. So and then you take a bunch of time to do that, and you never get to the core of the problem.
Like, yeah, that was the thing I realized was like, where's the skepticism that even like I could deal with people being like, I'm very cynical, I don't trust the Democrats, I question everything out their mouths. I'm like, I could deal with that. That's fine, because if they're telling the truth, it'll work itself out. You question things people supposed to answer. But then there's like no questioning on the other side when it's just like Trump's like, and I'm gonna use tariffs and it's gonna make everything great. And it's like, how you gonna do that? It's gonna be great, trust me. Like, whoa, where's the skepticism when he's actively doing it and the cost for your goods are going up?
Right.
Why aren't you like, whoa, wait a minute, this is what people said what happened, that he's lying to me? Instead, it's just like, well, it'll be all right. Like, if they just move the goalpost to it'll be all right. Now, I wish we had a little bit more of that on our side of it'll be all right, because I really do think we need that sometimes to be like, okay, this thing isn't going 100% to plan yet. Like, we're not getting the Green New Deal didn't solve climate change this month, but it's going to be all right because they're making the moves to do it. We just need to keep the pressure on doing it. We don't need to go
everything is incremental. Everything is in tiny blocks of being able to push this one thing so that this thing can happen. And we're, as a society, so bent on like immediate gratification.
Yes.
That we're like, well, it didn't happen, so obviously it didn't work. And we're just like, but it was working.
Right.
Give it a minute.
Right. Yes. It's one of those things where for the Republican side, a lot of it has to do with what they call it, the homogenous,
homogeny of the group.
Yes. And so when most of them look alike, think alike, talk alike, everything is alike, there's no challenging anything. And you have your fringes, but they don't pay them no attention because it's not enough of them, those type of people. So when it's like that, it only cares about itself. And so if somebody says anything, everybody goes along with it, because why would I question anything? Because we're all over here in this like group. The other side, everybody's different. Nobody look like nobody else. We all different colors, shapes, sizes, sexual orientation. So you asking all these different things who have their own different agendas to blend together, which is fine. But
it's just weird because, like, I'm not even just talking about the homogeny on each side. I mean, like, you take a Trump person, they will not question what Trump does. And when it is a lie and proven false, they will move the expectations to somewhere else that is not like, well, yeah, okay, you guys said that he stole the money and he was found guilty of stealing the money, but people be lying about stealing money. You're like, wait, what just happened? No, you said he didn't steal the money last month.
You're right.
He did steal the money, and that is a fact. And then at the same time, when that scrutiny is applied to like Democrats, it's an unending question, meaning no matter what answers they get, they're like, yeah, but, a matter of fact, perfect example is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is a great example of I'm just asking questions. But as you start to pile the questions up, it's like, you're not just asking questions of Republicans and conservatives that come on your show. You're taking whatever they say at face value. Like, sounds good to me.
Right.
That, and it doesn't matter how crazy it gets. They're like, actually, the Nazis were the ones that were writing World War II. So I think we all know that, Joe. Joe's like, wow, yeah, that's crazy. Wow, okay.
When you put it that way, yeah, I totally
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, dude. And then meanwhile, he's like, Joe Biden could be like, it's 68 degrees out. He's like, it was 69 degrees. What does he really mean?
If he lied about that, what else could he be lying about?
Yeah,
like, it's
right.
like, like we are the party of people who will completely cut off our nose to spite our face. Like, it's like,
yeah.
It's insane making.
And you know what? Sometimes I think, I know this might sound crazy, but I think that their lack of critical thinking benefits them in their homogenous. A lot of us critically think. So we're asking the questions. We want to know the why. Yeah. And that's the chipping away at it sometimes, is that critical thinking part, part that kind of kicks in.
I'm with you. I think a lot of stuff over there goes unquestioned because they rather believe a lie that makes them feel good than the truth, right? Mm-hmm. That I get that. But I'm just saying they showed that they can be critical and skeptical. It's just only of one side. Like, there's never an evenness applied to it because
agreed.
This stuff does not stand the scrutiny. Like these policies and stuff, like where it's like, we're going to get rid of government waste by firing all the government workers. We're also going to get rid of all the safety nets socially for people. So now we have a mass of unemployed people, a lack of jobs, and a lack of like unemployment, Social Security, all this stuff. That doesn't actually make any financial or money wise sense. It actually doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
How are people supposed to make it? And at the same time, you'll have people that don't question that logic, is what I'm saying. They won't go, nah, it makes sense, man. Because see, man, it's too many people being lazy and all that shit. And you're like, that's not the math. That's just you saying a thing you want to believe.
Agreed.
I mean, a lot of folks just want, like, they want to believe anything on the internet that you want to find the facts and truth to corroborate any idea you have. You can find that. Like, so it doesn't matter what, like, if Trump says one thing and every single thing that you can show someone says that it's a lie, by the time you've put together the packet of information that tells them that this is a lie and here's why you should believe me, Fox News has already come up with some random person to bring in that will explain to that person why, okay, well, that wasn't true, but here's why it wasn't true. And it'll spin a whole nother thing to do that. Like, they know when things aren't real, and they're just going to continue to, like, tell you why they're still correct, even if they told you a lie. And most people would rather believe that person that will still keep them comfortable than to look through this, like, but look, here are all the reasons why you shouldn't believe them anymore.
Yeah,
and they'll reset. Like, I hate when this happens, and this is why I don't do a lot of discussing with people. But I hate when you show somebody, this is why you're wrong. Here's the information that shows you're wrong. They'll like accept it in the moment, and then like the next day it's gone.
Yeah.
Like if you can bring it up to them the next day, like that's what happened with Carl at the Y when he was talking about voting for Trump over Hillary. I like a couple times I sat down with him and was just like, but that's not true. And this is what happened in that situation. Okay, but what about this, Rodney? Okay, that's also not true. And this is what happened. And I remember one of the times there was a Trump rally, I want to say in North Carolina, and two like Black Lives Matter protesters went there and got beat up. And of course, you know, they got it both ways. They got it from obviously getting beat up physically, but then they got a lot of people being like, what you take your dumb ass over there for? I was like, whoa, calm down. Y'all told them to go do that. I remember people saying, well, y'all won't go to a Trump rally and do that. Y'all show up at Hillary's rallies, go do. Well, they did. I wouldn't have done it. I don't think they should have, but they did. They got physically accosted. And I remember bringing that up to Carl, because Carl was on some like Trump ain't racist shit. And I'm like, why the fuck are they beating up black people who just said Black Lives Matter? They didn't show up with guns. They didn't show up and threaten anybody. They just had signs for Black Lives Matter. And he's like, okay, yeah, that was I didn't know that's what happened. That's messed up. Dog, we play ball again the next day. It's like that. I never brought that. Trump ain't
Right.
racist.
Uh-huh.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Did you hit the fucking time reset? Are you in a time loop?
It is. It's,
Yeah.
it's,
I
it's, it's a
we had a
reset.
conversation yesterday. The way
Mm-mm.
chronology works,
They have
that conversation happened before today, so you should still retain that information.
Mm-mm. They have
Yeah.
to be like that, because if not, because they know that they are consistently having that conversation with somebody, and so they have to kind of reset their brain to actually have this conversation again.
Right.
Because the thing is, if they accepted what you said as facts, that means something fundamentally within them would have to shift and or change, and their actions would have to be changed. And the thing is, nobody wants to take personal responsibility and say, I'm fucking sorry, I was wrong.
Right.
Well, I mean, everyone's a hero in their own story, right? Like, so
Right.
it's real hard until they have that hero arc where the hero gets messed up and they realize they did something wrong and they have to atone for that somehow. They skip over that part. They fast forward through that bit of the story. But like everyone wants to be like, well, I did the right thing. So when I did it, and I'm gonna hold true to that because it was my decision, instead of being like, I thought I made the right decision and I was duped and I made a mistake and I'm sorry and
I ain't got all the answers.
and like it's real hard to say that I was wrong. It's real hard to say that
Yes.
I made a mistake, and especially when it has such like it wasn't hinging on them. Like the vote wasn't hinging on this one individual who could have turned the tide. Like so it's hard to look at that set, say that you made a mistake, and then watch the world burn because of a mistake that you made. And it's
Right.
I understand that the mental gymnastics that it takes to deal with that. But also, if enough people just could be like, yeah, we fucked up, we might not fuck up again later.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like
you have to acknowledge it.
It's like those parents whose kids have died of measles, and then they do like you see like a story about them or whatever, and the follow-up is always the same, which is like, I still would not vaccinate my kid and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, because if you say you should have, then you just say you murdered your kid. Yep.
That's
so
hard to hear.
Parent that is vaccinated from measles.
Yeah, you don't want to share that. And I think that's where the country's at right now. And shit got to get real bad before people go, oh yeah, I see what you mean. Now that we're all in the breadline, you're right.
A lot more children of them to die.
There's a woman who comes in the bar quite a lot, older woman, and she's lovely. She's funny. She's straight and like hangs out with all. I love her to pieces. Also, she comes in the other day, and I know that she voted for Trump, which still again boggles me.
Right.
And she starts talking about how, and she knows I'm trans. Like she doesn't care about any of that, and she's just like talking to me all of a sudden about like trans women and women's sports, and or talking like men and women's sports is how she's putting it, obviously. And I'm like, how? I was like, okay, just fundamentally, how do you come in here and talk to me,
right,
and call me by my name, refer to me as he, do all those things, knowing that I'm trans, and yet this is really hard for you to understand, and you're misgendering all these women.
Yeah.
Like how does that work in your brain?
Even exist? I don't even understand.
She's like, well, I don't care what anybody does on their own, but as soon as you're starting to like threaten the safety of these girls, I'm like, how are these people threatening the safety of anybody in any, like, you're also talking about like less than a dozen actual people versus the thousands and thousands of people in women's sports. Like how like
I was just gonna say real quick, I think the thing that pisses me off the most about that particular talking point is they'll do that under the guise of women's safety, and it's definitely overly implied sexual safety, right? Like something sexual is going to happen and they're going to be violated.
And same thing with the bathroom laws. Yeah, same shit.
Right. And then they'll say they voted for a fucking convicted rapist, like a man who's convicted of sexual harassment or whatever it was convicted of. Like, so women's safety so important for you, you voted for Epstein's friend. Like, I don't understand what the fucking, like, where's the logic in this shit? It just that's why I keep going back to, like, it's got to just be some white supremacy shit, because
Yes, and it's a
it
hell of a
doesn't make
drug.
the stuff you're saying doesn't make sense. It doesn't really add up unless I put a context on it, which is like some of the white supremacy shit they be saying, I like it more than I hate the other stuff that I claim to hate. Because how the fuck do you, like, secretly you must just be like, I don't know, I kind of like that he called them immigrants, whatever, and then you just must move on like that, because that shit don't make sense.
Well, it's also like it's like knowing, like, it's the whole thing about, like, well, ICE, I agree with, like, deportation and all this shit until your housekeeper gets deported, right? Like, I think this is going to hurt the people that I actually know and like they aren't bad people. They just are taking care of all the bad people. It's like, no, it's everyone. It's a sweeping thing.
You should have tricked her.
Thing with
trans
folks. It's
she
like,
was telling you
you're a trans
about
person
that.
I know and like, but these people over here are bad people.
When she was telling you about that, you should have been like, well, Barbara, I hate to tell you this, but I'm actually going to jail tomorrow because I'm being trans. So, I mean, I'm glad you got the girls off the football team or whatever the fuck you were mad about. But
right, that vodka soda's on me. See ya.
Yeah. I won't be here anymore. See if she's like, oh wait, I didn't mean that. Well, that's what the fuck happens.
Yes, that's what happens. And I think the thing that kills me with a lot of this argument, and something that really irritates me, everybody uses kids as an excuse when it's not about the children. Because you're using the kids,
we still got guns everywhere, right? Like,
but it's not about the kids. You're using kids as an excuse, but yet, like I was just saying, you turn around and be like, well, I don't want the kids to get, sexually assaulted, but turn around and watch your own child die. But it's about the kids though.
Well, they're also cutting SNAP. They're cutting food lunches, like free lunch programs. These are the municipalities where they're like billing kids that need the free lunch, so it's not really free. The cutting welfare benefits, lying and saying people on welfare are getting like foie gras and shit.
That's far from
just
the truth.
like, and I understand that there's a very liberal set of people that would be like, well, they should be able to get foie gras. That's not my fucking point. My point is it ain't happening. We can make 2 points at the same time. The first one is this shit ain't happening. The second one is if it was happening, who the fuck cares?
Who cares?
But that's the interesting thing, is they can live on a lie like that, and they don't care it's incongruent. Jack, I asked you this, and then we can move on to some other topics, because I didn't want to bring you here to be like trans spokesperson. Although I know you are a trans spokesperson. That's literally
that's right.
Yeah. I was happy. You were like, hey man, if you need a guest, I was like, you know what, come on, because like we get sometimes we get these comments, and I think it's really just people actually feeling emboldened right now to be like, let's throw trans people under the bus and just stop caring about their issues.
Right.
And I'm sure they don't like listening to our show for those segments, because we're not going to do that. It wasn't like we were only talking about trans people under Trump. The issues exist no matter who's president. Anyway, my point being, do you feel like pressure to either show up, to pull back in, or any like to during, because I feel like there's such a focal point right now on like trans people, trans issues, and there's, it's almost like I could see as a spokesperson or a person who's been outspoken, either a pressure to like stay outspoken, or people to like come to you like, you need to speak out on this. Like, are you feeling that, and how do you handle that and keep your sanity right now? Because it's
so much.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna be real. If they was calling me up every week to be like, come tell us how black people feel, I'd be like, man, fuck y'all. We told y'all how we felt.
Yeah.
We've been saying it. It's not with or without a microphone, we saying it.
Yes.
But how are you feeling about that right now?
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if someone asks me to do something, I look at it objectively of like, when and why and how are you asking me to do something right now?
Right.
And it's not like I won't do it if I know that they're asking me to come on as like, look at this poster chat we're going to have and talk about this stuff, because that's fine. I don't mind answering questions. I'd rather the information be out there and people listen to whatever. But I also like pay attention to that shit. So I've been telling people for the last bunch of months that, like, it's been a long year, these last few months of dealing with all this, and every day is something new. But the for us and the LGBTQ community is going to be our big test is going to be Pride. What does
Mm.
Pride look like? What does it look like in each city? World Pride is in DC.
Oh shit.
Um, and they're already cutting, like they already took away the Kennedy Center where a bunch of stuff was going to be. They're trying, like a lot of stuff is on federal land because obviously because half the land is federal, and so like trying to corral, and it's going to be interesting to see how we show up. Um, I've been joking that every queen's gonna have a brick in their bag because that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see how emboldened people feel in DC.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Um, what the protests are gonna look like. Um, one of the biggest jobs that I have had as a title holder and now past title holder is judging other contests and kind of helping people get ready for judging for doing contests. And something I've been asking them is if you're running for a contest, you win, you're going to be the seen as a leader for whatever your region or community is. And we
Mm-hmm.
have Pride coming up. How do you feel about being a vocal point in a parade where you're going to be front and center and targeted
Mm.
in a possibly very unsafe situation? And most people don't have a good answer because I don't think they've thought about it, and they have
Right.
to think about it. We all kind of have to
Yep.
think about it right now. And I'm gonna be in DC. Joffrey's gonna come with me to DC, but Joffrey's like political activist, like ready for the fight kind of thing. And
Mhm.
I I have a lot of friends that I know aren't going to things, and I don't blame them. Like, I don't blame anybody who doesn't want to protest, who doesn't want to do things for safety reasons or
Right.
whatever their reasons are. You have to do whatever's safe for you. But if we don't show up, we already lost.
Mhm.
So like
Mhm.
I don't I don't mind being someone who is seen. I'm already up there. My mom is all worried about me putting stuff on social media right now and keeping me safe. And like, there's no putting the rabbit back in the hat. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a very visible person in this community, and there's no, even if I turned off all my social media, it doesn't go away. Like, anybody can
Right.
find me. I'm not, so I might as well keep the fight up as long as I'm able to do so.
Right.
And the way I'm dealing with that is by hanging out with friends, uh, playing a lot of very violent video games, and
That's what I
and
do.
you know, like making sure that everyone else in my community is okay right now because most of my people aren't okay. Like either getting
Yeah.
fired from federal jobs or
Mhm.
like getting fired from other things because of like DEI stuff or like just trying to make sure their lives are working and they just aren't. So
Yeah.
that's much more of a actual issue for me than what will happen in the next few months of like protesting and getting out there.
Yeah, and these laws they're passing are specifically to target and have these results. So it's not even like
Mhm.
um
Yeah, they get the results they wanted.
yeah, it's not
Mhm.
quiet part out loud. It's loud part out loud. It's Florida's trying to pass a law where you can just discriminate against gay people in the workplace. Like that's as
Yep.
fucking bold as it gets. Like they're like, because of our religious freedom, we should be able to fire the gay people who work here. Like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound very free at all. But
Mm-mm.
yeah, nah, man. Obviously, I there's no wrong answer to that. If you would have been like, motherfucker, I'm in the house, I would have been like, I understand that too.
I
Mhm.
mean, there
But
were times in my life where I was definitely like, I mean, I did a lot of like, I grew up in Berkeley, California. Like, you protest from when you're an infant on. Like, it doesn't. It's very
yeah.
like I walkouts for high school all the damn time. But I also it was hard enough just existing as
Mm,
a mixed person, as a trans person, as an LGBTQ person, as a young person. Like, it was already
yeah.
hard enough to exist.
We're coming
So
back.
I was like, I might as well do the protesting. And then at a certain point, I just wanted to like be a person and not like try to make my life work. And so I avoided going to anything for a very long time. And then it's kind of come back around the other way where, after Trump got elected the first time, my husband was a title holder at the time and doing a lot of protesting right after that election. And so we were out in the streets doing stuff for that. I joined Onyx around that time, which was doing a lot of work for that too. For people who don't know, Onyx is the leather men of color leather club. That's a national club in the United States, and like, and then the last bunch of years, it's just been like one issue after another since that election. So I kind of got right back into it, and I'd rather be out there, being a voice and being someone somebody can look at to be like, well, they're going, so I'll go too, than to stay at home.
Right. No, that's dope, man. That's why you are. Because I would have been in the crib. I've been scared. I'm like, I'm gonna be back here. I'm gonna support y'all from way back here. Y'all let me know if it goes wrong. And I love what you said too about pride being a test, because that you're right. That is. And I think a lot of people look at pride as like such a fun moment, and it should be, honestly. And it can be, but they're monitoring that. And the people they have in office right now feel emboldened. They released people from prison when he got in there to be like, if you do shit on my behalf, I will not prosecute you. You're fine. And so that you cannot look at that environment and not feel like, pride and any other event like that is essentially the front lines of seeing like who gonna do shit. You know what I mean? Because hopefully there won't be a lot of shit, but you can't know. And people got to show up with them, with the bricks in the purse to be like, in case it go down, it's not just coming one way.
No, and also you making me think, we talking about pride. Not only are they going to monitor pride, they're going to monitor Juneteenth. They're going to monitor like any major celebrations that they have all across the country celebrating any particular group.
I feel like pride is specifically like the big one.
I do too.
I think especially because World Pride is in DC, like in his yard. Like people are gonna be like, well, if I go to DC with the president right there, nothing bad's gonna happen to me. Like it's either going to be fine and we're gonna be prepared for nothing, and there's gonna be some basic whatever, but not a whole lot's gonna happen because DC is such a liberal city generally. But I've also seen a lot of those really ugly fucking trucks moving over the last bunch of months, and
exactly. There's no reason it's better to be prepared to fight and have a good party than to be prepared for a party and not for the fight. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think you're right. People are going to have to go there prepared for conflict, and we're going to have to move through society like that for the foreseeable future of just like, I hope shit goes off, but you just never know at this point. And DC is, I just read today where like, they had budget cuts, including like a hiring freeze and no overtime pay and all this stuff. And the reason that I point that out is that Muriel Bowser, the mayor, they got rid of Black Lives Matter Plaza, which is, this beautiful plaza in DC that, obviously was erected during the like George Floyd uprising, all that stuff. Right. So it was like, oh man, like this is a nice thing. And they kept it up like the whole time through Biden and everything. It wasn't about like who's in office, it was about Black Lives Matter. And then Trump comes in, they're worried about their budget, they're worried about being targeted. She essentially capitulates ahead of time.
Yeah.
And like, I don't live there. I don't know all her particular issues. I've seen people say she ain't shit or whatever. That's always a hard one because I've never seen anyone that likes a black mayor. Like, every city hate their black mayor. Like, it's a thankless job. I don't know why anyone wants to do it. I wouldn't want to do the shit. No, y'all not gonna be motherfucking my name because I had to make the budget cuts. I'm not
right.
But at any rate, she took it down, which many people objected to, and I do understand the objections because, like, why are you can't out capitulate this. There's no amount of working with them where they won't hate your black ass government city. And so, of course, they still cut the budget. Of course. So now you just don't have Black Lives Matter Plaza, and you still didn't get the things that you were hoping not to be taken away.
Right.
And I say all that to say, like, I think that's why you have to be prepared to fight. You just have to fight. Columbia is capitulating. Harvard's like, fuck y'all then. Like,
yeah, Harvard is like,
Harvard's like, yeah, we want the smoke then. Fuck it. We're not changing none of our DEI shit. And I'm like, I can respect Harvard because when both of y'all get y'all budget cut, which is what's going to happen.
Yep.
At least I could be like, yo, Harvard stood 10 toes down. If I was if my black dollars were going to a Ivy League university, it's not, But if they were, it go to Harvard first before I'm looking at Columbia because that shit matters to me.
They both gonna get their budgets cut, so it's not going to matter. You're both gonna lose funding.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Now let's talk about some other fun shit. That was politics till we get mad. I should have played the music. Matter of fact, let me play the music. We'll put a commercial here later.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
People have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on, shame on, shame on, shame on you, shame on you. Fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
All right, politics till we got mad. We got out of that. Now let's move into other things. Snoop Dogg is back. He got a new album coming out.
Okay.
It's a gospel album honoring his late mother.
Didn't he already come out one of them?
Yep. He did come out with a gospel album a while ago. This album will be called Altar Call. Supposed to be released on her birthday. It's a 21-track project, which follows his 2018 gospel debut, Bible of Love, and continues his turn towards spiritual music. I think his last album was called Missionary. I don't know if that was gospel as well. He said, the spirit of my mother will forever live within me. In a statement, this album is a reflection of what she has taught me to use my voice and my platform to spread love and heal the world. Just another chapter out of Bible love.
I guess.
Well, two things.
Yeah.
Okay, you go first, Jack.
No, I'm just like ever since the inauguration, I'm like, Snoop,
Okay, that was thing one. That was thing one. This feels like when you go to the Apollo and you sing a gospel song.
Yeah, because you know nobody's gonna boo.
Because no one can boo gospel. I can't boo this man's dead mama. So as angry as I am about him fucking with Trump, I'm gonna just have to ignore this album. It's not like I'm just gonna have to be like, but that was for his dead mama, I guess. So he know what he doing. He know I can't shit on him and be like, fuck you, nigga, I ain't buying your album. He know I can't do that. If he would have just came out with a regular ass, I'm gonna be rapping about drugs album, I'm like, man, fuck you, don't nobody want to hear about your drugs. You sucked up to Trump. But this is dead mama Karen, and it's the Bible. That's number one. Number two, are there any Christians that be bumping this? Like Christians. I'm not talking about these secular people.
Yeah, you talking about.
I'm not talking about Miss Smart.
You talking about saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, right? Fire baptized.
I can imagine some like Christian kids who are like, you can't get mad at me for listening to this music. It's Snoop Dogg though. But it's gospel, mom. It's about his mom. See, it's like it's cool. Like
it's gotta be the wackiest version of Christmas of whatever it is. Like, it's no way. Like, I guess if I only was allowed to listen to Christian music, I'd welcome the change. But it's no way they listen to them songs like, yo, we're finally getting to hear some Snoop Dogg. Nah, you missed all that. You ain't getting chronic Snoop.
No, you ain't getting that.
You getting chronic diabetes Snoop. Okay, you getting.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're not getting gin and juice. You getting Ensure. You getting gin and prune juice. It's fucking over for that shit, dog. like that just says more about your motherfucking upbringing. If this kind of Snoop does it for you, that means you don't get to listen to nothing good.
Oh no, the only gospel I listen to is Sis Tract 1 and 2 soundtrack. That's the best I got.
I wasn't big into gospel, and I never could get with gospel rap. No. Yeah, I mean, there's no way not to take it offensive. I'm sorry.
You can defend that. It's fine.
Yeah, I hate gospel rap. I tried.
It was not good.
And I don't know what. It's kind of fucked up because a couple times there's some, like Lecrae, I think, is a gospel rapper, and he can rap, but it's like if you play a Lecrae song around me, I'll be like, oh, this is dope. Who is this? And then like at some point, I'll realize the lyrics are all about God, and I'll be like, ugh, what is this shit? Which shouldn't really happen. If he can rap, he can rap. That's something about me that says he can rap, but not about this shit. Tearing this shit off. But that is how it works for me. I don't know if there's other people that identify with that, but that 100%, even when I heard a dope rapper, if they rapping about some Jesus, I'd be like, go ahead now. Go ahead.
Just because you're talented, just because you are good, doesn't mean what you're singing about is good.
Right.
Like
Next.
you can be insanely talented and have some dumbass shit that you're singing about. Like
Yeah.
I don't need to be hearing about that shit. Like just because
Which
you're
says
good,
which says a lot about me too, because I'll listen to some rap I totally disagree with what they're talking about, where I'm like, you should not sell drugs to your own mama. That's a terrible song. But I'm like, that shit is hitting. But if that same person was like, I sold drugs to my mama, but then Jesus saved me, I'd be like, man, turn this shit off. This old whack ass bullshit. Miss Smart
ruins the party. It's like,
right.
It's like you're bumping all of a sudden. It's like, Jesus.
Right.
Oh shit.
I gotta put my
bad
dick down.
I gotta go home.
Now Miss Smart is saying his album, I guess he's more producing it. He's not even on the album.
Okay.
So it sounds like he's really just curating other gospel singers
performers
to perform on the album without him.
Which
in that case, I find even worse. Because now you're solely doing this so I won't talk shit about you going and fucking with Trump. You don't even have it in you to really go make this music. You letting the other people that's really sanctified and live this life, you being like, I'll put them on 2 tracks and I'm going to call it my album. You just the Puff Daddy of gospel album at that point. You not. What is Snoop doing? What's the concert like? Is a concert just him playing all these songs and then standing there on the stage? This makes no fucking sense.
He's just standing in the corner, just like doing his little Snoop dance.
Snoop dance.
Like that's all he's doing in his tracksuit.
Yeah. Oh man! Shout out to Tony who watches Righteous Gemstones, because this does have Uncle Baby Billy written all over it.
Oh no!
Let's see what else is happening. Wendy Willams fans to protest coast to coast over prison-like guardianship. What days? Oh no, there's no way. This can't be real. They said they did this on April 1st. I don't think I saw a single protest. This must have been April Fool's joke.
I think it was.
Ain't no motherfucking way. Oh no, this came out on April. This article's from April Fool's Day. Maybe it's gotta be a joke. I'm rolling to the bottom to see if they say it's a joke.
Rob. They got you.
I was hoping, but at the bottom they're saying it's not. Her family's spoken out. Relatives launch a GoFundMe.
I don't trust nothing on April 1st, and maybe it's just me and my the way I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about her, the same way I feel about Britney Spears. Y'all do not care.
First of all, if you're going to organize anything, it can't be April 1st. That's just the number one rule. Whoever, you're fired. Whoever came up with that shit, you're done. Pack your shit. You're off the activism board.
Right. You could have picked the day before, the day after.
April 1st? Come on.
Who was like April 1st? I was like, yes.
But then the second part of it is, I don't think I saw anybody out marching. Like, who said that this was a thing that was going to happen? I do want to know. Like, we don't get a follow-up of like, how did the march go? Because it's like, oh, we were bullshitting. None of us came out the house for that. That's crazy.
I do want to see a picture of like the two people who showed up with signs. Like, I want to see what their signs said. Like,
yes, because somebody did come for sure.
You know they did.
Somebody showed up and thought they was about to, they probably greeted. The signs probably all say shit like, how you doing? Or whatever. And just they're like, where's everybody else at? But yeah, I don't know all the details of what she's going through, because people watched the documentary and was like, she clearly is struggling mental health wise, and it's not it's obviously not a put on. But then she herself is having these moments of clarity, or whether it's like press release type stuff, whatever, where she's going to the press directly to be like, I'm okay. And obviously you would hope that if she is okay, she wouldn't be in a conservatorship, but we don't know. We're not judges,
right?
We're not psychiatrists.
We don't know why
we're not her family members.
Agreed.
And it's just, I think in alluding to what you said about Britney Spears, it's easier for us to take the narrative that we get in the documentary,
right,
more than the people that have to live with whatever the consequences of being like, no, okay, she's out of the conservatorship. Yeah. And then I remember Britney was spinning around with knives every day on fucking Instagram. It was like, oh, I mean, I'm not saying need to be the harshest conservatorship, but somebody need to be in the house like put the knives down.
One should be watching her, like,
right. And so my thing is, because we don't know the information and people were just saying shit you don't know. And so there's a reason why these things are in place. No, you want these people to be in the best conditions. Like you don't want any abuse to happen. Of course not. But if they've gone through the process for this, I'm assuming it's a reason why. Like ain't nobody doing this just because.
Right. No, I'm with you. All right. Let's do another article. Viola Davis confesses her regret over misjudging Chadwick Boseman before his passing. She didn't know he was secretly battling I think it was colon cancer.
Yep, nobody knew.
Specifically nobody knew. Like
so they were on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which I believe like he may have even been nominated for.
I think that was his last movie, wasn't it?
It was. So she was talking with the Times and she reflected on her initial reaction to his on-set routine, which included massages and calming music provided by his girlfriend and makeup artist. There was a part of me that was just a little judgmental. Why do you need all that? Little did I know they were doing that because he was dying. He died at 43. Yeah.
It's one of those like afterwards, you're just like, what an asshole. I can't believe it's like, well, you know he has this issue, and you're like, oh, now I feel bad. Like but like
I think
you
on
don't
the
know.
set of I think on the set of the movie he did with Spike Lee, a similar thing happened with I think Delroy Lindo was thinking like, man, this guy's so pampered, like what's wrong? And then he found out and was like, oh shit, I'm glad I didn't say anything. But yeah, I mean, the main thing I would say is just we really don't know what the fuck people be going through.
We do not.
We really don't. We make a lot of assumptions, but we really don't fucking know. And I think, especially now when people will volunteer what they're going through by saying horrible things, and we should take them and be like, yeah, fuck you. But I just think in general, like, man, that guy, he's lost a lot of weight. You don't know what the fuck's happening in his body. You don't know. You know, I even with Lizzo, like people get very upset one way or the other of like, she too fat, she losing weight, fuck her. Zero of us know what's going on with her. She could have had a talk with her doctor. She could have got diagnosed with a disease. She could have just decided she want to make a change in her life. It's completely her. If we believe in autonomy, it's her autonomy.
It's 100%.
If no one's being hurt, if no one's being hurt by something someone's doing, then there's really no need for us to really be interjecting on them in a judgmental way.
We love to eat, especially right now. Like as generally as a society, we love our junk food, right? Whether that junk food is McDonald's, candy, watching Lizzo's weight, watching the Kardashians, like whatever your junk food is, romance novels, whatever, we all need it. We're eating more of it right now because we can't control any of the shit that's going on that's scary. So we're just like hoovering in all this, like, and then hyper focusing on somebody else's shit that we have no say in, no right to have an opinion about, have no idea what's actually happening in their lives, but we have full agency somehow to be like, well, my opinion about her weight matters, or like other shit like that, know. And so, I mean, I get why people are doing shit like that, but it's also like, what do we care? And like with Chadwick, like we never know what's going on in somebody's life and why they're doing a thing. I also think that in Hollywood, they probably see a lot more like people get famous and do really dumb shit, or feel entitled to like have a certain level of pampering at everything they do. So it's more likely that they're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, he thinks he's in Black Panther once and he thinks he gets like common music and shit. Like, whatever, like, and then you're like, oh, he had cancer. Oh, shit. But like,
nah, I can see that. Nah, I'm more surprised she's telling us because she don't have to tell us. I guess it's good on her for being transparent like that because I would have took it to the grave. If I wasn't on record talking shit, like if I had only talked shit to like the person at the craft service table, I would have just sworn them to secrecy. Like, we don't talk about that time about Chadwick no more. All right, that was a mistake. We both know it. We both said things. Okay. Texas teens charged after allegedly attacking mom over Wi-Fi being turned off. 14, 15, and 16-year-old siblings devised a plan to attack their mother late Sunday night, chasing her through the house and into the street with kitchen knives because she turned off the internet.
Whoop. Child. That's not a child. If I survive something like that, we can't ever live underneath the same roof again. DSS, you better get them. I will look the police in their eyes and say, when you leave, you take them with you.
Change them locks.
You take them with you. And I'll come back and get them if I feel like it.
What the hell?
Sheriff Egg. Well, I will say this though. That is the prime age where that could happen.
Yes.
If you have a 14, 15, and 16-year-old all in the same house, that feels like the right age where your teenage mind is impressionable and warped enough that y'all can whip each other into a frenzy. And by the time mama gets off work, y'all like, we got to kill this bitch. It's no other way out. I cannot be off Instagram this long. Okay?
Yeah.
People are TikToking things and I'm out of the loop.
Right, because they think that's reasonable. And the thing is, I'm going to tell you the truth right now, they actually got the right one in this situation. Because if they'd have got the wrong one, the police would have showed up and they'd have had 3 dead kids.
The teens also struck their mother with a brick and their grandmother was knocked over while trying to intervene. Fortunately, both women avoided serious injuries. The teens have been charged with that. Yeah, a brick.
Actual shit.
Right, and you know what that means? That means they've had these outbursts in the past. I mean no harm. Like these outbursts.
Well, that's probably how you got the internet taken, right? Because that's normally a punishment. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, that's it. I'm turning the Wi-Fi off. Y'all don't know how to act. And they're like, oh, you think that wasn't knowing how to act? Wait till I hit you with this brick in my purse, okay? I was listening to a podcast, and Jack said, bricks in the purse, okay? So we about to hit our mama with one. The teens have been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon are currently being held in the juvenile detention center. So they didn't get to come back home, Karen. You're right.
They also outnumber them. This is the problem with having more of anything than adults in the house.
Yeah.
Like, you have more kids than you have adults in the house, and they outnumber you. Like, I worry about this shit all the time. My sister has 3 kids. They're 5, 3, and under 1. They're all going to be at that age at the same time. I'm like,
yeah. The key is you got to have them far enough apart that they become each other's enemies. That's what my parents did.
Hit them against each other, not me.
Yeah, they had me and my brother 3.5 years apart, so we spent a lot of time Tom and Jerry in the house. It was just me trying to chase him and then him trying to chase me. Like, we never had time to gang up on our parents. I was always mad at his ass and he was always mad at me. It was genius. We've been 1 year apart. Who knows what would have happened when they took away the phone or whatever. It's like, you can't call that little girl no more. It's like, well, I guess everybody gotta die. I have hormones and I don't think straight.
we also had, like, the worst we had was call waiting and, like, someone picking up the other line being like, why are you still on the phone? Get off the phone. Like, that was the worst. We didn't have, like, our own little private lives and our own little private communication thing that, you know, everything was on the table for our parents to be like, I know what kind of bullshit you're doing. Like, there wasn't time.
Yeah, my parents' big thing would be like, take away the video game, you know, take away the TV out your room or something like that. Like, it wasn't you, like you said, I didn't feel shut out from my friend group other than if they like, you're on punishment. Like, you can't come out the house. It wasn't. It wasn't like, yoink, well, now you have no friends because you don't have the internet, buddy. And you don't have any social skills because you were born too late in the world. So you're fucked. Like I remember what the funniest thing is we used to get punished like that. They take away the TV, the video game, whatever. And I liked reading.
Okay, so you were good.
So I just go to the room and I was in there just like, fuck it. Time, take me away, you know, to fantasy land. I want to read about dragons and fucking fair maidens or whatever the fuck. And my brother's just pacing back and forth like, what the fuck are we going to do to get out of here? I'm like, I don't know, read a book. Fuck you. Fuck those books.
Yeah, my parents, they would try to, you know, punish me for shit. But I had one of those like block, like 100-pound TVs in my room, so there was no picking that up and moving it.
Me too.
And they didn't understand how technology works. They wouldn't know how to unplug the video games even if they tried.
Oh damn!
So like,
nah. my mom
and
and dad
they could really do.
My mom and dad got so smart with it, they just start taking the cords or the controllers.
See, yeah, take the save game file. Like you take the memory card,
Yeah.
take the controllers. That would have
Let
been
me
the
tell
smart
you.
thing, but my parents weren't smart enough to do that.
Nothing hurt worse than you did something bad and you know you should be in trouble, but you get home and you see the PlayStation or the Xbox or the Sega Genesis or the Nintendo is sitting there on the TV anyway, and you like, I really shouldn't be allowed to play this right now, but I'm gonna play it anyway. And it's like, oh, power's not. What the fuck? What is? Oh, the cord's gone. Of course. I knew I got a D before I came in the room. Why would they allow me to play video games? I need to be studying.
That was the trick bag.
They were so smart. They knew what they
was
were
like,
doing.
we'll take the cord.
All right, let's move.
Power this up, bitch.
Let's move to another segment. Let's see. You know what? It's been a second since we've done this. Let's do some white people news.
Okay.
White people news. We're bringing egg salad to the barbecue. We might be problematic or a little bit dim. This stuff's really harsh on our fragile pink skin. It's white people news.
Let's see what the whites is talking about. Prince Harry was rushed out of courtroom by bodyguards after a woman's outburst at the press.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna be honest, did not know there was a trial happening. I don't know what he's on trial for.
I don't keep up with nothing.
Is he suing or being sued?
I have no idea.
Hopefully we'll have some context clues in this article. As Prince Harry left a London courtroom, a woman in attendance shouted in support of the Duke of Sussex, directing an outburst at the press. Harry, 40, returned to court on April 9th for the second day of an appeal hearing pertaining to his security in the UK. At one point, as the court was breaking before a private session and Harry was leaving the room, a woman shouted, "I support you, Prince Harry!" The Duke of Sussex exited the courtroom alongside his team as the woman, who arrived late and was fidgeting with phones and a notebook during the hearing, turned to the gallery and said, "If you're members of the press, you're the reason he's not in England."
Sound like somebody was hot.
She took this shit personal.
Goddamn.
I'm guessing this alludes to when he lost his security detail because the royal family stopped paying for it or something.
They stripped it away.
Yeah, it was like, if you marrying a black woman, you know you can't be securing your ass.
Nothing we can do about that now.
Yeah. See you in court, Prince Harry. He later returned for the private part of the hearing. He's appealing a decision in 2020. Oh, the government's decision. So it's not up to the royal family. The government decided. They stripped him of automatic security after he and Meghan Markle stepped back from their royal duties.
Right.
Which they stepped back from because of all the racism and harassment she was facing and the weird tabloid shit that was happening. So they were like, I don't know, maybe not worth your mental health to be subjected to this. And they said, well then, you know what's really gonna fuck with your mental health? No security. And he was like, fine, we'll move to Canada, bitch. And they was like, wait, come back. No, we didn't think you'd go that far.
They didn't think they were gonna move, right?
Really attractive, interesting one. Please come back.
Right. The only other ones we have left are uglies and rapists. Like
nobody wants to see us.
Yeah, they be wanting them to die and shit. Much of the argument on Wednesday centered around the fact that no formal risk assessment was done when Harry lost automatic security in 2020. Instead, the government's RAVEC committee gave him a case-by-case arrangement based on current needs. Harry's lawyer, Shahid Fatima, delivered an emotional summary on Wednesday saying, "One must not forget the human dimension of this case. There is a person who is sitting behind me whose safety, whose security, and whose life is at stake. There's a person sitting behind me who's been told he is getting a special bespoke process when he knows in his experience it is a process that is manifestly inferior in every sense. His presence here and throughout this appeal is a potent demonstration of how much this appeal means to him and his family." As she finished speaking, Harry raised his right hand to his face, visibly processing the weight of the moment. The master of the rolls, Sir Geoffrey Voss, another Geoffrey, noted that the substance of the private session would be made public once the parties reached an agreement. So, all right, we'll wait for that news, breaking news. But
I
shout out to
hope
Prince
he
Harry.
gets his security back.
Protect the redhead.
Yeah, for him, for her and the kids.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is if I'm Meghan Markle, I low key hope you don't get the security back. I don't want to go over there and be with them people. Like that's a great excuse to never hop back on that plane to go that direction.
You know what? That's
you know what I mean. He's like,
yeah, you won't have a reason.
He come out of the trial like,
lovely. Leave him,
right?
Like, just stay there.
We got security. She's like, fuck. I mean, yay, you get to see family. Yeah, shit.
Also, why would you want to see them? Like,
right.
That's my thing at this point. Like, they've been through all this with you. They basically drove you to a different continent.
Yeah.
And now, like, why you want to go back?
They was worried your kid was gonna get too dark.
Yeah.
Like, what's the update? You know what I mean? Like, oh man, you remember me, Prince Jr.? I remember when you was just this dark. Now look at you. Just Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner's wife shot during LA police chase, authorities say.
Damn, and
holy shit.
Weezer, Weezer, the rock and roll group, the music group. You never heard of
Island
Weezer?
in the Sun?
No.
Beverly Hills?
I probably have heard what you're talking about.
Did they make
Sweater?
I was gonna say, did they make Buddy Holly? Didn't they make Buddy Holly?
Buddy Holly, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I look just like Buddy Holly. I know Mary Tyler Moore. I don't care what they say about us anyway. I don't care about that.
I probably have heard it, yes. But
okay. I thought everybody knew that song.
It's just not ringing a bell. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's white people news. You don't have to know. Jillian Lauren was shot.
My blackness is showing. I'm going down my road. That's going. Have I heard that song before?
Honestly, I didn't think I knew all those words until just now. I was going out on prayer.
I was surprised. I was like, oh my God, Rod knows all the words.
Yeah. Every new word that I knew in that, I was like, shit, I know that too.
More stuck with me.
I can't tell you what happens when they start singing the real part of the song. It's not the chorus, but I nailed that chorus.
Somebody said Beverly Hills. Did they sing the theme song to it or something?
Not Beverly Hillbillies, Karen.
My bad.
Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner's wife, Jillian Lauren, was shot by police while officers were pursuing suspects in a hit and run in Los Angeles on Tuesday. LAPD officers said they responded to the scene to assist California Highway Patrol, CHIPS. They also had a TV show.
Yes, they did. Now I remember that show.
And finding 3 suspects following a hit and run in the Eagle Rock neighborhood. Authorities said they were working to set up a perimeter in the area after the suspects ran into a residential neighborhood. Shortly into their search, officers were checking behind a residence for one of the suspects when they spotted a woman, later identified as Jillian Schreiner, outside a neighboring residence and armed with a handgun.
Oh.
Police say they commanded her to drop the gun multiple times, but she refused and pointed it at them. She went back into her home. Oh, they didn't shoot her then? Wow. Okay. Well, that's different. Oh wait, no. Okay. They pointed at them and then they shot her. Okay. Ooh,
like,
hey. The privilege is jumping off if that was, yeah, okay. So she did get shot.
That makes sense.
She went back into the home, but came out later and was taken into custody. Paramedics took her to a local hospital to be treated for 9 life-threatening injuries. She was not involved in the hit and run.
Oh.
And she was absentee booked for attempted murder. Shit, for pointing the gun at them. Damn.
Yeah, at them. It don't even matter if nobody else was threatened. You pointed at them. Oh, yeah.
Man, they gonna have to plead down. She gonna have some way out of this.
Weezer, there's no way. Yeah, she's gonna be fine. Like,
yeah, no way. Weezer, the rock band consisting of Rivers Cuomo. Rivers Cuomo, is he related to the other Cuomos? I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Schreiner, Patrick Wilson, and Brian Bell were announced as a surprise add-in to perform at Coachella. So they just performed at Coachella, and they were a late addition after other artists, including FKA Twigs and Anita, dropped out of the music festival. Yeah, people were thinking they dropped out because of low ticket sales, possibly. Schreiner posted $1 million bond and was must be nice.
Oof.
Must be nice.
What was the bond then? You got to do 10%, don't
you? No, $1 million bond could have been 10%. Just to have it is gotta be nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just dropped that.
Yeah, they put $1 million bond on my ass. They just practicing.
I'm telling you right now.
They're like, I'm like, you just say infinity. Who gives a fuck what number it is? I don't got that.
We ain't got it.
But she posted the bond. She was released from jail. Weezer is still expected to perform at Coachella. So there you go.
Rod,
right.
So to go back a minute,
yes,
I was on my my friend's radio show over here the other day, and they play music in between us talking about everything, and they were playing songs that we are supposed to be sexy but aren't really sexy. So we were like getting ready to play other music, and they're all like, okay, well after we go to this break, we're gonna talk more about this thing. And the other guest was like, oh yeah, and here's the breakdown. At the same time, with just looking at each other, we both went, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it.
That's hilarious.
And they're all like, see, Jack is black. See that? I thought, we might have to say Patrick's Day, maybe not, but like, you get it back. It's fine. I was just like, so like, good job, Rod. I feel you right now. Like, you got all those words right.
Okay, listen, it's a cultural exchange. Lord knows I didn't know I knew that, but I'm glad I did. And that's how you know this segment is real. We're not pretending to not know white shit. We don't be knowing it. Because if I know it, I'm proud. I'm like, yes.
I'm proud if I know it too, because y'all know me. I'm looking like,
I don't think you're proud if you know it, Karen. I'm gonna be honest. You seem a lot more happy to tell us that you don't know things.
You tell me that you like not knowing
you
shit.
Do. You like, this is like a big thing for you, because you could always not know stuff and don't tell us, but you always stop to go back to be like, I had no idea.
Nope.
There's no way on earth I would have ever guessed that.
Make it crystal clear.
John Bon Jovi. You know who that is?
I know who that white man is.
Okay. He says he's had 100 girls in my life despite being married since 1989.
Does this include your wife?
She alive. They together. He took a walk down memory lane during an interview with Michael Strahan on ABC's Halfway There special Monday. During the interview, they spoke about his marriage to his wife, Dorothea Hurley, whom the rock star began dating in 1989 after they were dating in high school. When Strahan asked Bon Jovi about getting married so young and how stressful it must have been as a sex symbol, the It's My Life singer admitted, I got away with murder. I'm a rock and roll star. I'm not a saint, he said a bit jokingly. I'm not saying that there weren't 100 girls in my life. I'm Bon Jovi. I'm John Bon Jovi. It was pretty good.
He probably being conservative with that 100.
He's definitely being conservative with that 100.
Yeah, that's the number he says to be respectful to his wife.
Yeah, because you had to talk about at his heyday, they were full-fledged sex symbols.
But if you think I was ever going to jeopardize anything for believing the narcissist in me was real, what a stupid thing to do. What kind of excess does a man need that's going to fuel that fire? It's just not worth it. I'm not sure. That felt like word salad.
That's like, well, I did do some stuff, but I wasn't gonna do too much stuff. But I did a lot.
Yeah,
I did. And I'm old now, and the bitches is gone.
Right? Yeah, that sounds like he told his wife, "I was just fucking them, baby. I make love to you."
Nothing to me.
Yeah.
Also, we don't know. Like, I don't necessarily like. I feel like there's probably a lot of rock stars that had some sort of arrangement with their spouses. Like, they're on tour all the time. They're always off doing some shit. There's no way, like, that every single one of them that's been married that whole time was obviously being faithful. But also, like, we don't know what they're saying. Like, okay, well, when I'm on the road, we just don't talk about it. All right? Like,
right. It is interesting. He also told The Independent last week in a different interview, these are all wonderful cliches of rock stardom. It's about never lying, about having been a saint, but not being a fool enough to fuck up the home life either. So it sounds like he did some cheating, but not too much cheating.
Too much over multiple decades. And so like, if you're averaging.
You know why this is smart on his behalf, though? Nobody can ever blow up his spot. Because he can, if someone comes out and be like, John Bon Jovi fucked me in 2007, he was married and he didn't give a fuck. He'll be like, I told y'all I wasn't a saint.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get ahead of that shit.
Yeah,
Yep,
unless
get in
all
front
the
of it.
women get together and form like a union and then put out the official numbers, then he might be in trouble.
Right.
If it's like you said it was 100, this is clearly 7,042 women.
This giant class action suit, just like
Yes. Right. Like if that happens, he's in trouble. But this is a smart way to go about it if he just been cheating this whole time. They just celebrated their 35th wedding anniversary. They share 4 children. Stephanie 30, Jesse 29, Jake 21, and Romeo 20.
Yeah, all that kid is grown.
Yeah, the real thing is, what does she think about it? I'm not very interested in his interview. I want to see her. If her interview is like, yeah, he was cheating, but it's all good, you know, then I'm like, cool.
I got to be home in this giant house and like do whatever the hell I wanted to do while he was gone.
Right.
Like, who knows? He could have been fucking the pool boy that whole time. We don't know. Like,
We don't know.
We never know, you know. But shout out to white people telling us their business. We love to see it. John Oliver has been sued by health insurance executive over toilet hygiene remarks.
Not surprised. That man has a army of lawyers from Max. The amount of shit he says and does, and like, I love
they call
his
that shit. They're gonna lose.
I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I got lawyers. Like,
yep. I worked with his lawyers when we did Game Theory,
and they are specific about them words.
Let me tell you like this. HBO ain't nothing on them airwaves that might get you sued without letting you know you might get sued. They like that should be ironclad. You would think we had a lot of license under comedy. Not really. You got to go. There's entire jokes ripped the fuck right out of my pages where I'm like, I can't even say that. They're like, nope, not even as a joke. Take that shit out.
Yeah, I mean, none of that is. That's not surprising. I'm sure. Like, it's more surprising that I don't hear about all of the lawsuits. Is really more what I'm surprised about.
Well, you know what?
I love that show. Like,
you know what I think probably happens more often than not? The companies probably go to their lawyers in sense like, how can he say this about McDonald's or whatever? And then the lawyer watches it and comes back and is like, you ain't really got a case because y'all do that shit. So, I mean, you can go to trial, but when discovery hit, you might want to not go to trial at that point
because we're gonna pull out everything. Do
you really want them to examine the small print of when you say every quarter pounder is 100% American beef? Is that really what you want to do, or do you want to just let this one go?
Right,
because you're already selling quarter pounders. It's gonna be okay. Yeah. So he said, he did an over-the-air rant, which he accused a healthcare executive of thinking it's okay to have shit. It's okay if people have shit on them for days. Fuck that doctor with a rusty canoe. I hope he gets tetanus of the balls, Oliver said in an April 2024 episode
That's hilarious.
of Last Week Tonight. The Emmy winner's diatribe last year was specifically taking aim at Dr. Brian Morley, the former AmeriHealth Caritas Medical Center director. And his testimony during the 2017 Medicaid hearing about home nursing visits and their costs. Oliver also played audio clips of the comment, which Morley's lawyers have said were intentionally manipulated and played without context. This feels more like the kind of case you drop right before you go to trial.
Yeah, this is not going to trial.
Yeah.
It's not like they spliced it together. They played a clip of what you said.
Like what you actually said.
Yeah, what is just the context they stripped out was you being like, you know what would be highly ironic if I sarcastically said, and that's the part they cut out. And then,
right.
I guarantee you that's not what
that's not how it works. People have bowel movements every day where they don't completely clean themselves, and we don't fuss over them too much. Morley can be heard saying, people are allowed to be dirty. You know, I would allow him to be a little dirty for a couple days.
What?
I remember this episode now. Oh yeah.
It's obviously the context, guys, you know. In the defamation lawsuit filed Thursday in Manhattan federal court, Morley said he testified to the opposite in 2017 and that he did not equate wiping poorly with leaving anyone sitting in their own feces for days. He added that Oliver suggested otherwise damaged both his reputation and personal well-being. Morley at the time was trying to explain how many people may not wipe perfectly, but that they're mobile and they're not laying in it. His comments, he emphasized, were about the average individual who is independently mobile but may not wipe perfectly, not someone who is wearing diapers or otherwise laying in their own bowel movements.
I don't believe him.
The suit goes on to contend Oliver's feigned outrage over Morley's comments were fabricated for ratings and profits. In the full, according to the suit, Morley testified in certain cases, yes, with the patient with significant comorbidities, you would want to have someone wiping them and getting the feces off. But like I said, people have bowel movements every day where they don't completely clean themselves, and we don't fuss over too much. That does not sound like the context helped. That's just my opinion.
I'm pretty sure that the context was in a interview about people wearing adult, like the context for what they were talking about was about that. So the fact that he's trying to be like, but it wasn't about those people, I'm just like, I don't know.
See you in court, I guess. Him and John Oliver will battle it out. I doubt they're gonna back down. So good luck. Let's do another white people news. Impractical Jokers Joe Gatto cancels tour and enters an inpatient facility in wake of sexual assault allegations.
Oh no.
Oh damn.
Joe Gatto is, I guess, a member of the Impractical Jokers. He's taking time to focus on himself.
Don't they always like to focus on themselves and their family right before shit like this breaks?
It really doesn't make me feel like you didn't do it.
Right.
If that's what these things are supposed to do for PR, it gives the opposite at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Impractical Joker star, 48, will be entering an inpatient facility after multiple women came forward to accuse him of sexual assault and sexual harassment.
Oh.
Having taken some time to reflect, I've decided to voluntarily enter an inpatient program to work on myself. The married father of two said in a statement, I just want to thank my friends, fans, especially my family for all their support, never more so than over the last few days. All his upcoming tour dates have been canceled. I didn't know they toured. So he must be a comedian as well as not.
Yeah, they're also comedians.
Before entering the facility, he was accused of sexual assault. Former employee also came forward about her negative experiences with the comedian. On March 20th, a TikTok user who goes by Juicy B accused him of sexually assaulting her when she was 19 in a series of now deleted videos, allegations which he has denied. Shortly after that, a second woman, a source who previously worked with Gatto during this time on Impractical Jokers, claimed that the comedian exhibited unwanted behaviors that she described as sexual harassment. On March 22nd, a rep for the comedian issued a statement in response to the allegations saying, I have used poor judgment and as a result have violated the trust of the people I love most. But anyone who knows me at all knows full well I wouldn't assault anyone. Working on myself is an ongoing process, he said, and I am now going to take some time away from the public eye to focus my energies where I need to. All right. Well, I mean, it is weird when your job is being an Impractical Joker to be like, everyone knows me. I'm very trustworthy. It's like, that's not how you make your living. You trick people.
You make jokes.
Like, exactly the opposite, actually.
Yeah. You abuse our trust. It would be funny if he did the opposite, though, if he just came out and was like, guys, it was a joke.
Oh,
I got you. You thought I was really gonna sexually harass you, girl. You know I'll be playing around. We got you on camera. Come on out, y'all. Come on outside. That bush over there. That's actually a camera. That's
not a camera.
He does that all the way through the trial.
Right there and there and there.
Yeah. He's in the courtroom. He's like, fucking. That bailiff. That guy's actually, he works for me. Okay. He's not. Why are y'all putting these handcuffs? These handcuffs feel real.
And real tight.
The second accuser, who was employed by the comedian prior to his departure from Impractical Jokers, which he announced in late 2021, says she first met him at one of his live shows where she was 15 and claims that as soon as she turned 18, his behavior shifted and became very flirtatious. The source claims that before starting the job, just after graduating from college, one of the comedian's previous employees allegedly warned her that she perceived him to sometimes be flirty and handsy. During her time working for the Impractical Joker star, the source alleged he occasionally inappropriately grabbed her and asked for back massages. Yeah, that's all no good.
What man in this day and age thinks that they're going to get away with this? Like, even if you want to behave this way, do you really want to be the one dealing with this publicly later? Like, even if you think you're being fine, you know what it's gonna do. Why are you acting this way?
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy too. Cause like the Me Too movement that we all recognize as of now started in like 2017, not the old 2006 Tarana Burke one, but that 2017 movement had started. This was in 2021 he did this. So like there's no fucking way, buddy. Anyway, during her time working for the Impractical Joker star, the source alleged he occasionally asked for back massage. She also claimed he once invited her to his room and asked her to cuddle. He also made frequent inquiries into her sex life, she alleged. She said he would brag often about being in an open relationship with his wife, Bessie, a claim she now suspects was false. The couple, who shared 2 kids, split in 2021 after 8 years of marriage and later got back together. He privately responded to her post on social media to tell her she's hot and acted possessive, getting jealous when she would post photos of her actual boyfriend. So she had a boyfriend the whole time. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, I hate when people do this kind of shit and blame open relationships. You know, where they're like, listen, baby, I'm just in an open marriage. It's like, well, can I talk to your wife about it? No, see, that's crazy. We don't do those rules. These are different rules where I do it as if a person were cheating on their spouse.
Right.
Like, even if they were in an open relationship, even if that was the case, this is still your employee who is 18 years old.
Right.
Has a boyfriend. There are so many layers.
Right.
Like, even if you and your wife are open and you can fuck whoever you want, even if that's the case, and even if that is the case and you don't talk about your outside relationships and that's why you don't bring it up.
Yeah.
This is still your employee who is 18 years old. Like,
no, that's the thing. Like, I was gonna add all this other stuff to it, but it's like, no, I have an open relationship in the way that like a traditional cis het relationship would cheat on their spouse. Okay, well, that's a little different. Also, I know you have a boyfriend, don't tell him. Okay, well, that's kind of weird. Also, I know you were 15 when we met and you work for me now, but like, this is also totally normal. It's like, hey man, I don't think this is about open relationship. This stopped being about open relationship a long time ago.
Right.
Like, it's just red flags.
Like, somebody call HR. Like,
yeah. Can I get a back massage at work? What about an open relationship? What part of the open relationship is this?
Oh God.
Yeah, I low key just think that's fucked up. But I think it's a catch all that some creeps use sometimes. Like, okay, I'm gonna be creepy and just go, no, I'm in a non-traditional thing. It's like these are not just non-traditional values. These are just things like workplace harassment.
Agree.
And this is just you being a creep. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't care about your relationship.
Right, yeah. When she rejected his advances or refused to flirt back, he would be rude to her the following day at work. The source claimed, noting that she felt as though she always had to work to keep him at ease, fearing she could lose her job. She alleged his behavior was part of a larger pattern of alleged emotional manipulation. So, not very funny, Impractical Joker. Not very funny at all.
Or practical.
Yeah, correct. It is. Well, it was impractical. So that, okay, you're right. That is
right.
He wasn't joking, but it was very impractical. So maybe I should re-examine what happened. All right, let's wrap this thing up with some sword ratchetness. All right, it's time to talk about these people with these swords. It's dangerous out here. No one's bringing it up but us. It's my sword ratchetness music. Authorities arrest P. Ridge man in Missouri after sword stabbing and pursuit. Yeah, actually, I might be able to play this one. Let's see.
Oh no,
I need to play this one because I need y'all to see. I need y'all to see the news person that is reporting it. His swag is on a trillion. If I could just get this thing to play, let me put it on my screen.
No problem.
If this is what
out here talking about these swords.
If this is what it looks like, it's gonna be amazing when we get past this ad. But I need to hear what this man sounds like. That's how awesome he looked. But yeah, this man was arrested after police say he stabbed 2 family members. Okay. Blood might be thicker than water, but a sword will cut right through.
Were they teenagers? Because I feel like
he turned off the Wi-Fi.
I mean,
so this is the news guy. Here.
Oh damn!
Right?
Yeah, he got a look.
Hair.
He got a look to him.
Hey, buddy.
He got swag. I feel like this dude definitely either plays in like a metal band or like is heavily into Dungeons and Dragons on the weekends, and this is like his other job.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
They made him put on a suit for this.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go to work.
Adrian is currently being held at the Newton County Jail in Missouri. According to Pea Ridge Police, officers responded to a physical disturbance call on Dobson Street on Thursday. When they arrived, they learned that Adrian had taken off by vehicle after stabbing his father and wife with a small, quote, decorative sword.
There were 2 people that were hurt in the incident by stabbing with the sword. While they did receive injuries, neither one of them went with the ambulance to the hospital. They both sought medical attention on their own after the fact.
During the pursuit, police say Adrian crossed the state line into Missouri.
All the agencies that were involved, Benton County was the primary agency that was involved in that. It did cross state lines into Missouri, as I understand it. So there were some Missouri agencies as well.
Right now, charges have not been formally filed.
The charges are actually being worked out with the prosecutor's office right now. We do know that they will be felony charges. We're just not prepared at this time to actually discuss the specifics of the charges.
Cross state lines.
What's going on with their police flag? Is that a fucking cannon? Is that
an eagle, a bird carrying a cannon?
An eagle and a cannon. Yep.
A Revolutionary War cannon?
Yes.
Damn.
With a falcon flying across. You know that was made in 1801.
They bought that life in Pea Ridge, apparently. Pull their muskets out on your ass.
Right? Fuck you up.
Also,
these cars were kind of cool, though. Like that.
Yeah. That's a cool ass sigil, you know what I'm saying? But also, like, the other part that's funny to me is there's no such thing as a decorative sword. A decorative sword is still a sword. It does sword shit.
If it cuts, it cuts.
If it can stab 2 people, it's just a sword. That is pretty, but it's still a fucking sword.
Yeah, just because you hang it on the wall and put it behind glass, it don't make it.
It's not like a LARPing sword, you know? It's not like a fake sword. Like, it's still a sword. I'm a little upset that the Pea Ridge like logos aren't green.
Right.
A little mad about it.
Yeah.
You know,
not a lot of thought went into it. Maybe they were green. They got picked on so much they were like, make it red and put a fucking eagle on that cannon. Fuck those. We're from Pea Ridge.
Cannon too. Yeah.
Well, we light our cannon. We gonna fuck these people up. Jack, tell people where to find you, as always.
You can find me on Instagram, JackIML 2019. You can find me on Facebook, which is easier. Jack Thompson is the most generic name ever. I'm also the head of Adventures in Leather, a group that put together D&D games for title holders and other people in community for charity. Anal for short.
Oh no!
Adventures in Leather.
Hilarious.
Is Adventures in Leather or Adventures in?
Adventures in Leather. So AINL.
Got it. All right. Make sure y'all sign up for Anal.
Yeah, we got a game coming up that will be fully online and streamed, where you can donate to that game. Is actually so that we can buy cameras and mics and new equipment for our streams. It is a game called Dungeons and Drag Kings, where I will be heading up a game for my old drag troupe, the Rebel Kings of Oakland. So they're all NC-17 rated games, so be prepared for some weird, sexy, stupid shit. But yeah, that's if you're ever in Baltimore, please swing by Mixers and say hi to me.
There you go. Go get a beer. Say hi to that lady who voted for Trump and somehow lost her way into the bar. Who knows what the fuck her deal is. But yeah, thank y'all for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you always, Jack, for being here. Yeah, until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Bye.